So welcome everyone to today's presentation. I am going to pull up my PowerPoint here and share with you. So today we're going to be talking about digital skills for everyday tasks. Welcome to everyone who is on live and anyone who is going to be watching the recording. We'll also be putting this up on YouTube for a short period of time, so make sure to get on there within the next month and watch this if you missed anything or want to go back and get any more information from it. Thank you to our sponsors, the Nebraska Women's Business Center, NEF, NBDC, and Nebraska Rural Prosperity. And then our co-hosts are Jamestown Regional Entrepreneur Center and Beaver Dam Chamber, excuse me. So thank you so much for co-hosting with us and getting the word out there and being able to help get some more people on these trainings. We really appreciate it. And then of course, our featured speaker is Dave Meyer. And then I just want to mention these trainings really quick. Our next Google series will be on December 7th, and it is Design Thinking for Entrepreneurs. This is a new one that Google released, so make sure to get on this one. I'm super excited for it. November 17th is going to be Social Media 101, so that will be a good training to jump on as well. And both of those will be on our GoNebraska.org website underneath the trainings tab. And then the member only training is going to be November 8th, and that's going to be an overview with constant contact. So if you guys have thought about getting an email platform or want a way to consolidate all your contacts and their information and be able to keep it in one place, definitely sign up for this training if you're a member. And if you're not, reach out to me and we'll get connected. So without further ado, I will go ahead and hand it over to Dave. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Amanda. Thanks to our partners, co-hosts, and sponsors. So delighted to have you all here with me. It is such a fun topic today, so I'm super excited to hang out with you and to go over this. As Amanda intones, we are talking about digital skills for everyday tasks today. This is going to be a semi-interactive session, and if you have attended any of these in the past, you know that I like to stand up when I'm talking, and so I can gesticulate and move around and be a little bit more interesting. But this is a very text-heavy chat, and I'm actually going to show you how to use Google tools in order to do simple things like resumes and spreadsheets and task lists and even presentations today. So I'm going to be showing you these things live. We're going to go through them. If you have a computer that you're watching this from and you want to have a small side window open, it might make sense for you to log in on your Google account now. So as I get started and as I'm sharing a few things, that's the first thing I want you to know. Second thing I'd like you to know is that I am absolutely encouraging and imploring you to ask questions as we go through today. And in order to do that, you'll simply use the Q&A tool in Google's tools. So, or in the Zoom webinar tool. So you're just going to hover over, go to Q&A, and then enter your question, and I'll do my best to answer those as we go. All right, without further ado, a little bit about me. I am your presenter. Been with Grow with Google now for the past 5 years. I can't believe it's already been 5 years. I've visited hundreds of places around the world for Google in those short years, and done tens of hundreds of our webinars and seminars to many folks. So if you want to get hold of me, if you have additional questions or follow-up, here's how to reach me, dave@busyweb.com. I actually run a marketing agency called BusyWeb out of Minneapolis, where for the past 23 years, our team of 24 serves all kinds of B2B services businesses and manufacturers in helping them grow business. And of course, Google is one of the most important parts of that. Finally, if you see something that's really cool today, I would ask you a huge favor. If you wouldn't mind sending me an email, dave@busyweb.com, with one takeaway from today. I learned how to, and then just tell me what that is. especially if you're a nonprofit or if you have folks that you work with and this is really going to make an impact to your community or your business. I would love to hear that, because I take that back to the Google team and we use that to continually improve the content and quality of these seminars. For example, today's seminar, we used to just talk about Google Sheets and Google Sheets, which is like Excel, and Google Docs, which is like Word. We've also added slides now because people were asking constantly, how do I present? And how do I make things look as cool as what you're presenting, Dave? And spoiler alert, I'm actually presenting today's event in Google Slides. One last thing, as we get started, I am going to turn on closed captioning for today's event. And so at the bottom of the screen, you'll note from here on out, you are going to see every word that I say. So I am going to go into captions preferences, and then I'm going to toggle captions on. So welcome to Grow with Google Presents Digital Skills for Everyday Tasks. Read along with me if you'd like on screen, and our text is going to be shared as part of this. Also remember that the recording is going to be shared to the Grow with Google or to the Grow Nebraska website on YouTube, and that's at youtube.com/Grow Nebraska. And make sure that you're connecting up on there. All right, ask questions as they go. And if you have content or things that you'd like to know as we go, again, be sure to use the Q&A tool. All right, let's be real. We all know that working remotely often means working from home. So I want to start with a couple of small tips to make it easier for you to do your work wherever you are. First, remember to keep your routine. We all have dedicated work styles. Make sure that you also have a dedicated work space. Even if it's just your table at home, just set aside a little bit of space on your kitchen table and make sure that that's consistent. If you work from your couch one day and your table the next day and the other couch another day, that makes it really hard to get into the groove. So be consistent with yourself, set aside a little bit of space. Ideally, if you can repurpose perhaps a bedroom, because you can just close the door. One really wonderful thing about Google Meet and Zoom is that you can blur your background, so you don't have to worry as much about what's in the background of your webinar or your video conferencing when you're chatting with people. But having a spot that you can ideally close the door and have that space is going to be very important. Make sure to schedule breaks for yourself. When we're working from home, it's really hard sometimes to turn things off. You might find yourself working on that spreadsheet, that report, or that project well into the night. So schedule time to get up, walk around, enjoy. I'm sure in Nebraska, it's beautiful out right now. In North Dakota and in Wisconsin, our other two partner co-host organizations, it's pretty gorgeous out right now. It's going to be 77 in Minnesota, which is going to break a record. Take some time to get up and to walk around and enjoy the freedom afforded you by being virtual. Make sure that you have the tools that you need. By that, I mean having a computer, ideally having a computer with an extra screen, additional monitors for a computer are very inexpensive now. You can get a fantastic monitor for just over $100, sometimes under $100. That 20-inch-ish to 23-inch range is very, very inexpensive. And it makes your world a lot bigger if you have that space. And even if you are working off of a laptop, I wish I could show you my screen, but I have my laptop way up top here so that my camera is viewing you right at my eye level. I have a keyboard that I use that's wireless. You can have a wired keyboard. Again, it's not very expensive. And I also have a browsing device. In this case, a trackpad, could be a mouse, but having that external stuff is much better for you just ergonomically. So sitting up straight, having an elevated desk space so that you're not crouched down over your laptop makes it much easier. Set a daily to-do list. I'm going to talk about that in a moment on how to set up that to-do list. And remember, we're all in this together. You might hear barking in the background on a webinar. You might have a kid jump in the middle of a webinar. Celebrate the fact that we all have human lives and give each other a little bit of a slack as you go through. And remember that we're all working wherever we are. All right, soapbox down now. Everything that we need to know as far as keeping up with how we do our work can be handled inside of the tools that Google makes available to you, whether it's to-do lists or managing documents virtually and collaborating on those documents, and or sharing progress reports. I'm going to walk you through an example of each of the three things on screen today. So what that means, we're going to create a Google Sheet that's going to serve as a to-do list for our organization or for our project or for a group that we're part of. We're also going to create a meeting agenda using Google Docs, and I'm going to show you a bunch of really cool templates that you can use in order to grow your reach, in order to share your ideas, and in order to keep yourself on task. And then if you've ever wondered how on earth I do these amazing things with Google, I'm going to show you how to do that using Google Slides. And then I have a few resources that I want to share with you, including a few links. Remember, of course, that this is being recorded. It'll be available on the YouTube channel of the Grow Nebraska organization. And you're welcome to watch that. That's only going to be available for a limited time. If you would like the slides, again, remember, you can reach me at dave@busyweb.com, and I'd be happy to share these slides with you as well. All right, so let's get started. First, as I mentioned before, you're going to want to sign in to your Google account if you'd like to follow along. And everything that we're going to talk through today will require you to be logged into your Google account in order to open up Google Slides, Google Sheets, or Google Docs. There's a lot of other tools that are available inside of here. Note that when you do sign in, you have access to all of these things. So this is a free tool that's available to anyone with a Gmail account. Could also be a Google Workspace account. So it could be dave@busyweb.com, for example. That is my Google Workspace email. It's where I collect all of my emails for my business, but it also happens to be a Google account. Once you log in, you're going to then enter in your information. You can also go to sign up for free. And so in order to do that, what you'll simply do is you'll see this here and you'll select, click next if you're in. If you don't have an account, you'll simply be prompted to create one. There's actually usually a little button down at the bottom. And then once you're in your Google account, you'll have access to the tools shown here and much more. Of course, Google Sheets is a spreadsheet program. This is what you can use to tabulate things, to create, in our case today, a to-do list. Google Docs, you can create resumes, anything that you would present in a Word formatted session can be run through Google Docs. So any documentation that you need to share. And then Google Slides is our presentation tool, what you can use to present cool things to your coworkers, to your clubs, to whatever. Some of my other favorites are Google Photos, of course, where you can save all photos for your business and for your personal life. And Google Accounts include 15 gigabytes of space. So you can keep as many photos, documents, sheets, slides, files as you need inside of 15 gigabytes of free space. Google Chrome, of course, is Google's browser, and it keeps you seamlessly integrated and logged in to all of your other tools. And I'm going to be showing you some of these live. Finally, Gmail is the tool that you'll use to track and manage messaging, to connect up. You can use other tools like Google Meet and Google Chat to connect with people and stay up to date with your teams. And I'll mention those briefly as well. Again, remember, you can always ask questions via the Q&A tool inside of Zoom. All right, so I want to show you how to access Google Drive. First, you're going to go to Google Apps. I've circled it in the screen here. It's in the upper right corner of the screen when you're logged into your Google account. You can simply go to google.com from that once you're logged in, and then you're going to click Google Drive to access a file. When you click on this little icon up here, it kind of looks like a Rubik's Cube. You can then see a pop-up that shows all of the Google Docs or Google Apps that you can access from here. It's going to look different for you because Google by default will list the tools that you've used before first. But in this case, Google Meets, YouTube, Google Play, News, Contacts, Google Drive is the one that we're going to show now. So you're going to click on that. Again, look for that icon. It won't be in the same place on your screen. In the top right, then again, you're going to select that Google Apps icon. You'll be able to log in and see that. And then we're going to go into this account in order to do all of the other things that we're going to talk through today. So in service of being helpful, and unfortunately, the closed captioning is not going to work for a moment while I switch over to our account. So please note that you won't be able to see my closed captioning when we're in for just a moment, but I will be back very shortly. And if you have audio, of course, I hope you can hear me fine. All right, so I'm switching over to my Google Docs. And if I just go to google.com, for example, I'm going to see this page. Note that I am logged in. I can see my Google account. This is my demo Google account, so it's not my actual one. But if I click on the Google Apps icon in the upper right, I will see things here. And again, note it's a little bit different than the screen I showed you before. But in our case today, right now, I am going to click on Drive. Note when I go up, I can see the URL and I can bookmark this for future use, but drive.google.com is the account or the URL that I'm going to for Google Drive. So without further ado then, let's go back into the screen and let's show you how to create a to-do list with Google Sheets. A lot of times we need to manage and track complex projects. We might have a number of things that we need to do for an upcoming event. It's very easy using templates inside of Google Sheets to do this. And so I'm going to show you that now. For example, all I'm going to do here is click New, as shown on screen from Drive. So I go to Google Drive, drive.google.com, and then I'm going to click this plus New button. And then I'm going to go to Google Sheets, click From a Template, and click To-Do List. So I'm going to follow that here. I'm going to go to New, and then I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to go to Google Sheets, and I'm going to hover over the screen and click right here and go From a Template. That template that I choose is going to be a to-do list. So to-do list is what I'm going to select here. Again, remember, you're going to see something slightly different because your most recently viewed or updated documents, the ones that you've worked on most recently, are the ones that are going to show up here. But in our case, the to-do list is what I'm going to select. Once I open that document, you will see something that looks very similar to this. So you're going to have your to-do list, and it's going to have topics across the top. So this is part of the template. So I'll see it says to do, and then it shows me how many are completed. It has columns, which are A, B, and C, and then rows labeled by numbers. So 1, 2, and 3. So for example, the change the style of completed formatting or completed items is 5C, row 5, column C. And that's just kind of how spreadsheets work. But as I refer to things, I just wanted us to all have that connection or that idea on how spreadsheets work. So once you've created that, you can rename the file by clicking in the upper left. And when you click in the upper left, you will have an opportunity to change the name. It's important to watch the naming of your Google documents because that's how you're going to find them in the future. You can file them in different folders or create new folders by clicking on the icons. You can save them to Google Drive or share them on the cloud by clicking there. and you can star them or make them a favorite inside of your content by clicking there. So as we build this, and again, I'm going to demo this shortly, but as we do this, you're going to be able to add tasks and add dates. So if you want to add a new task inside of this templated to-do, you're going to be able to just go to row 7, enter a date, and then enter a task. And then if you click the checkbox inside of any of these tasks, it will put a line through it and gray it out automatically. It's just part of the formatting of this cool little template. So here you see me updating a task and changing the text. Inside of Google Sheets, Docs, or Slides, you can click and change any text by simply selecting it and entering in your own text. And then you can see how that works here. So I'm populating, I'm editing things, and I can edit either up top where the icon or where the animation is doing it right now, or I can type in 5C and I can change that here. From there, I can add additional rows and I can click through. So if I click in column C, as shown here, I can open the insert menu, click column, and add one column to the right. And so if I follow that, insert, columns, insert one column right, then a new column D will appear. So as you add that in, perhaps you can use this to add an owner of an event. So I know what that task is. So I'm going to click in D, and then I'm going to type owner, and then I'll see that information here. And then I can start typing in, and again, I can attach those inside of here. Very simple. From here, you can also change the formatting. If you're not a huge fan of green, for example, or if your branding for your organization is blue, you can change that at any time by selecting the colors. So I've selected to do here right now, and actually I've selected all of row 1. I can change the color by going to the color icon as circled here. So I hit that, and then I'm going to change that to blue. So I click on blue, and it's changed that entire heading to match what I experience or what I prefer inside of my account. Then I want to see this to-do list again. So again, I'm going to look at Google Drive, and I can go into Drive and see my most recent files here. And if I've created a new folder, I can also create that there, or I can review those folders. So let me show you what I mean by going into a live demo again. So what we did before is I went to New, Google Sheets. I clicked and hovered over this little arrow, and then I'm selecting from a template. Once I'm into a template, I have a number of templates available to me, and I want to highlight these for a moment. There's annual budgets, monthly budgets, finance investment trackers, or even calendars under the personal section. There's schedules, travel planners, and more. Under work, I can create invoices, weekly timesheets, budgets. I can see customer relationship management data and information here. And I can do even more. So again, I'm going to New, Google Sheets, hover over the arrow from a template. And then in this case, I am going to select personal and to-do list. When I click on the to-do list, it's going to open up a new file for me. And remember, I changed colors before, so I can simply hover over and select the entire rows here. So I'm clicking on 1 to highlight all of row 1. If I hold down the Shift key and select row 3, that's selecting rows 1, 2, and 3. And then I change the color here by going to Fill Color. I'm going to change that to our nice blue. And then remember, we had added an additional column for owner. And so I can do that two ways. And I'm actually going to do it a slightly different way here for us. I can, instead of going to insert and then columns and insert one column right, I can also hover over the upper right of the column and click the little down button. And then I can do insert one column right. I can then type in here, owner, and then I can add Bob, Mary, Sue. Remember, if I click inside of any of these, I can change the date on these. So let's go to today's date. Wow, December 2020. Let's do 11/2/2022. So I've got that here, and then I can change that here. If I wanted to make it tomorrow, I can then edit that here. If I wanted to add more content or add an additional date or time, I can edit that here. And remember, I want to change the to-do or change the name of this document, and where it is, I simply click inside of here, and then I change the name of this to my project to-do list, or family picnic to-do list. It's in my drive right now. If I click here, I can change to other folders, or I can create a new folder. In this case, I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call this Dave's Grow Demo. And then I click the little checkbox at the side, and it creates that folder. And then I select the blue button, and it moves it here. So now it's there. And then the last thing that we demoed, we went back to Drive, and I looked for things that I had highlighted. Notice that if I refresh here, it's going to show me my recent files automatically. So I just worked on our family picnic to-do list, and so that shows up here. But I also can go to the folder that I just created and select and open that family picnic to-do list. If there are any questions on setting that up and how to create a Google Sheet, please post those in the Q&A right now. I would love to hear your information and your questions, and we'll keep that going. I'd like to move back over to the presentation, because I want to move to the next thing that I'd like to show you how to do, and that is how to create a meeting agenda using Google Docs. We had a project that we were going to host. I created it as a picnic to do, but imagine that you were having a team meeting. You wanted to attend a virtual meeting, and you wanted an agenda to help plan the event. A useful way to have a productive meeting is to keep notes during your discussion and alert people in advance of that meeting what to expect during the meeting. Using Google Docs, you can create and share meeting notes and even collaborate in the same document from anywhere at the same time. Just like we did with Google Sheets, we're going to start off with a template to help us with some of the overall design and basic elements of our Google Doc. In order to do that, we're going to go back to Google Drive. We're going to select New. We're going to go from a template like we did before by hovering over that little arrow. And then we're going to select a template from a template. Then we'll be taken to the template gallery, where we're going to select the, the team meeting demo, or the team meeting template. So once you click on that, you'll be able to change text. You'll be able to update your file. You'll be able to add. You'll be able to reformat text. And in order to do that, you'll simply select the formatting buttons inside of here up on top: bold, italics, underline, changing colors, etc. And so if I wanted to change the color of text, I would select that text, and then I would select a color, in this case, our beautiful blue, and that makes that text blue. I can also change text and different typing, and I can add comments into this document so that people can see what we're talking about. So in this case, I'm adding a comment for Yara so that she can comment on our new business. In order to add a comment, you'll simply highlight text, and then you'll get a little plus sign on the right, and then you'll type plus followed by an email address of someone. And I'll show you this in a demo live as well. Once someone is commented in, they can actually join and edit your text live while you're collaborating together. It's one of the huge benefits of Google Docs, Google Slides, and others over any other Word or spreadsheets or presentation software, because you can actively collaborate in real time without destroying each other's work. The other way that you can connect and bring people into your document is by hitting the share button, which is at the top right of every screen. You click share, you select the access level that you want them to have, whether they're an editor, a viewer, or a owner, and then you will send them a note and click the send button. They will receive an email with a link to that document, and they will be able to click on that link to join you and collaborate live. You can share files with groups of individuals by sharing an entire folder, or you can share individual documents as well. So I'm going to skip back over to our live presentation, and I'm going to do what we just did. So I'm going to go back to Google Drive, and then from here, I'm going to go New, and then I'm going to go to Google Docs this time, hover over the little chevron to highlight or fly out the additional navigation, and go to From Template. From our templates, I have a number of things available here. I have meeting notes, which I'm going to be selecting in a moment, but note all of the other things that are available. We have a section for resumes, which have all kinds of interesting and helpful resumes if you're looking for a job. Letters, if you need to connect with someone. Personal information like recipes or a pet resume for some crazy reason. Work information like project proposals, like meeting notes, which we're going to be using here, newsletters, brochures, and some other things. Worthy of note, if there's an add-on here, you may select something from this, but it might require an additional investment or a payment in order to use that document. These are all available for you to use, but some of them might require a little bit more information. There's also human resources, education, like essays, reports. If you have children that are using Google for education, they're probably using some of these documents, and they are very helpful. So in our case today, I'm going to go to Work, and then I'm going to go to Meeting Notes. This is the meeting notes that was selected in the demo. I'm going to use this slightly prettier version and update that here. So I click it, and then the first thing that I'm going to do is change the name. So I'm going to do pro or group team building picnic meeting, and we'll call that planning meeting. And by default, it will store it in my drive. If I click on the folder here, I can select, and it will show me other options for spaces that I can store things. So Dave's Grow Demo is what I just created as a new folder. I'm going to go ahead and select that folder and move here. Now from here, I can change the color of any text by selecting the text color. You can see here that I'm actually previewing each of the tools by hovering over them. So I can highlight text, I can change text color. I want to use my groovy blue, so I'm going to change that here. And this is going to be, of course, picnic planning meeting. I can change my attendees, I can change colors here, I can add things, and then if I wanted to comment in, someone as I did before. Again, I'm highlighting text, and then these magical little buttons show up. And I can add comment right here. And if I wanted to add and share to Dave, I can do @dave@busyweb.com. Then I can let's talk about new business. And then if I wanted to assign a task to Dave, I can simply click the check marks for that information, and that will send Dave an email and a task. So I'm going to click assign here. And then a pop-up happens, and I can assign this person to review as a commenter or as an editor. And then I can change the amount of access, and I can say allow anyone with the link to view. And that's if you wanted to share this with a group that all can edit this document, or if I don't want them to have access and I simply wanted to notify them that I had made a note in this document, I can select that there. So in this case, I'm going to allow anyone with the link to view, and then I'm going to comment. And it'll give me that. But it sends Dave an email to let him know that this file is now available for viewing. Let's go back, and I want to show you the next big thing that you can do inside of Google Apps, and that is to build a presentation. Now, again, I mentioned you are viewing a Google Slides presentation right now. So there's a lot of beautiful slides that you can create inside of Google Slides. As with our other projects, we're going to start off with a template to help with some of the big design and basic elements. From drive.google.com, select New, Google Slides, and from a template. From there, you'll see a number of different templates that are available to you. You can present research to a professional conference, you can deliver a sales pitch, or you can lead a workshop. Open the template that you want to use, and in our case, it's going to be your big idea, and then it's going to open up into a new project. Again, I'm going to change the name of my file first, but then you can click and change any text inside of this template to make it your own. It's very simple to do, and you can change background colors, you can change font colors or font styles, you can add images, you can even import other things like spreadsheet data or graphs inside of your presentations. There's a number of different layouts that are available for each and every slide, and those come by default within the template, or you can add your own. And then I can go to plus in order to select those new slides. And then I can select from any of the slide layouts that are available. And again, I'll show you this in a minute. In this case, I'm going to select a number slide to show how much our presentation has connected, and that new document will be there. Adding illustrations and videos keeps your presentation interesting and helps grab your audience's attention. You might use photos to introduce your team to your audience, or you can link a chart from a graph from a Google Sheet to explain progress or show a budget. To add these elements, you're going to the Insert menu, as I've highlighted here, and then you're going to go to the element that you want, whether it's a text box, a video, a shape, or a table. In my case, I'm going to go to an image, and then I'm going to search the web. It's worthy of note that if you search the web, you want to be very careful with your copyright information. Do not select any information or images that might be copyrighted by another group, organization, company. I'm going to, in this case, search for something, and then I found this graphic, and I made sure that this document was connected. And when you search for an image within Slides, the images returned in your search will be free for use, but you want to be careful that there are no copyright restrictions on any information that you see. At this point, you've built a slide deck to support your presentation. You've selected layouts, you've customized text, you've added charts, images, and other visuals to enhance. Now you can share your presentation with others. You might want to share the slide deck with your team to get their input before the big day. Or you can make the presentation available to everyone who will be in the audience. You can even embed the presentation on a web page. To access all of these settings, you'll click the share icon, just like you did from Google Docs or Sheets. In this case, on this screen, it is a yellow button in the upper right. I've circled it here. And then you're going to go to the email address of people that you want to share it with, if you want to only share with specific people, or you can select the option to share with anyone with a link. In this case, I'm notifying Zuri that I am giving her access. And then when I'm ready to send, I'll click the comment, or I'll click the role that I want her to have, and then I'll click the send button. If I want to share with anyone that has the link, again, if I'm sharing with a larger group, I can do that here as well. Just click the copy link and a resulting dialog will pop up where I can copy that link and email it to as many people as I want. All right, before I go to recap and resources, I want to go over and demo this same tool. So I'm going back to Google Drive. Again, that's at drive.google.com. I'm selecting new, and this time I'm going to go down to slides. I select the over arrow or the chevron, go to from a template, and all of my recent presentations, recently used templates are here. I'm going to select the your big idea like we did in the preceding slides. Once I do, the document pops up. I'm going to change the name of that document to Project Picnic Results. And I'm going to select where I want it to be saved. If I simply click enter now, it's going to save it in my drive, but I want it to go into my demo folder so that it's here for future generations. I click move here, and then Google tells me that it's been moved. Now I can change any text in any of these. I can add imagery, as we mentioned before. I'm going to go to Insert, Image, search the web in this case. And it gives me a notice, only select images that you confirmed you have the license to use. And so I'm going to say picnic. It gives me an image. I enter that here. And I click Insert button in the lower right to add that image to my slide. There we go. I don't want that image. I'm going to click it. And I can change the size of this image by clicking on it and dragging it. I don't want this image to be in front of my text, so I can actually right-click on this image and change the order and send it to the back. And then my text goes over the front. I can change the text color to make this look better, or I can change the text box shape so that it will automatically show or only show the content without going over the top of my document or of my image. So I can do that here. And as we showed in our demo before, I can insert new slides at any time. In this case, I'm going to select where I want my slide to go, and then I'm going to insert, and then I'm going to go to new slide. And if I want to change the slide layout, I'm going to go to the layout dropdown, and I can see all of the different kinds of slides that are available. I'm going to select big number, and I'm going to say 22% of people in this meeting are hungry. And I've created my new slide. Again, I can go through and change any of these slides to fit my needs. There's all kinds of helpful and interesting ideas here. And I can use these, change them up, or I can change the layout of these slides live by selecting that layout. You'll note that there's a themes overview on the right here by default. I can click that to go away. If I click theme here, it pops back up, and I can select an entirely different theme for my slide deck by clicking here. So if I click that, it changes the background color, changes the front color. It's probably going to have some issues with that. So if I wanted to change that back, I can click the undo button and it'll automatically change me back to my other slide backgrounds and format. Very simple, very easy. And again, I can share this slide with anyone by clicking the yellow share button. And then I can add, let's bring my buddy Dave back in here. So I'm just going to type dave@busyweb.com, which again is where you can go to get a copy of these slides or to ask additional questions to me later. And then I'm going to give them a note. Here's the picnic info. Please share with your team. I can copy link. If I want to copy this to all folks, I can give Dave different levels of information. If I don't want Dave to be able to change that presentation, I can simply make him a viewer. If I want them to be able to comment on things and view, I can add commenter, or if I want to give them full access to the document to change it as they wish, I'm going to select editor. I can also hit the copy link if I want to share this with an entire group, and then I can select send. Let's go back to our slides and I'll share a few more resources to consider. As a recap, I hope you're feeling more comfortable with creating Google Sheets, documents, and slides now. In this short period of time, we examined how to open your Google Drive, how to create a to-do list sheet from a template, how to add tasks, dates, and owners to that sheet, and how to add formats to that sheet. In Google Docs, we saw how to create a placeholder agenda out of a template, how to change the text inside of that template to meet our needs, and we showed how to share that document with other folks to collaborate or to review. In Google Slides, we built a presentation using Google Slides. You saw how templates can make your slide deck look beautiful and professional, and we showed you how to customize your layout for unique presentations. Google Docs and Google Sheets can get you started with useful projects in your professional and personal life. For example, you can build a resume using a template in Google Docs, or you might design a budget in Google Sheets. Remember, there are helpful templates that make it very easy for you to do this on your own. Google also offers several other apps that you might like to explore. You can create easy forms inside of Google Forms that you can share with other people to get their information or how happy they were with an event, to select best days or times to meet as a group, and much more. You can click sites to create easy and free websites. You can use Google Calendar to schedule your calendar, but also collaborate with others. And included with Calendar is the opportunity to have video conferencing using Google Meet. As we close out today, I wanted to write one big thing that you would like to do. So please send an email to dave@busyweb.com with one thing that you'll do differently after this workshop to grow your digital skills. That's dave@BIZZYWEB, dave@busyweb.com. And of course, the closed captioning completely misspelled it, but BIZZYWEB. Few other reminders. There's lots more helpful and informative details through the Grow with Google YouTube channel and inside of Grow Nebraska's pages, as well as the JRE Center and the Wapaka Area Chamber of Commerce and Beaver Dam Area Chamber of Commerce. Connect up. Next month at this time, we are going to talk about how to build a brand for your business that resonates. And this is through a topic called design thinking for entrepreneurs. If you're struggling with branding your new business or would like to update your brand, that's a super easy way to do it. And Amanda will have another link and a connection in a moment for that. There are Google's career certificates if you'd like to do more learning on your own. They offer data analytics, digital and e-commerce marketing, IT, project management, and user experience design as part of their free offerings to any organization or any business. The projects or these scholarships for these free accounts are up to 500 people per organization, and they're worth up to $100,000 in workforce training per American company. There's lots more available at google.com/grow. And if you'd like to take a quick snapshot of all of the resources that I've mentioned today, here's a easy to screenshot page. If you have a Mac, you can do Command-Shift-5 and grab the screenshot. If you have a Windows machine or a Chromebook, you can do Alt-Print Screen and then open up a new Google Doc and paste that information there. Thank you very much for your time and attention today, and I'll turn it back over to Amanda to close us out. Thanks, Amanda.
Thank you so much, Dave. We really appreciate you being here and sharing all that knowledge with us. I did also want to let you guys know that we're actually co-hosting with the Jamestown Entrepreneurial Center on November 15th, and it's going to be over increasing holiday sales with Google tools. So I thought that would be a really beneficial training just for any business in general. So we are going to be co-hosting that, and they will be the main hosts. So I will send that link in the follow-up email as well, so you guys know about that, as well as our training page. So thank you so much to everybody who attended live and who will be watching the recording. If you guys have any questions, again, you can email Dave or myself, Amanda@grownebraska.org. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, Amanda. Take care, everybody.